What is up, Raffle Nation? We are back in Houston to look at this new hotel. That is the 4 Points by Sheraton. So the last time I looked at hotels, that is the last hotel I looked at, Jewels by Kings, I said that was number 8. Actually, that's number 11. So I just want to give you my correction to the list. This hotel is a 4-star Sheraton hotel, 4-star hotel from the Sheraton brand. It is the 4 Points by Sheraton, and it is the latest in a string of new hotels being built here in Guyana. These hotels are the leading indicator of the growth of the economy. There is a massive growth in the economy. The economy has literally doubled every 2 years for the last 5 years, last 6 years or so. We are in South Rheinfeldt Gardens. So we just left South Rheinfeldt Gardens. That's the street sign for South Rheinfeldt Gardens. This is Caneview Avenue. It's the last street, the back street in South Rheinfeldt Gardens. So those of you who grew up in South Rheinfeldt Gardens know that beyond this street was sugarcane field. So all this land that I'm panning to the right to show you, that was sugarcane field, and now you have a massive 4-star hotel in its place. And I'm saying this is number 11 because I missed several of the hotels. The ones that I missed were this one, 4 Points by Sheraton, which would be, say, number 11. I also missed, what was it, the Hilton, which is being constructed at Carifesta Avenue, opposite the National Park. That would be number 10. Now look, along this embankment, there's a long line of power lines, high tension, high voltage power lines, and those go all the way out to the river, which is about 2 miles from here. And those power lines get power from the ship. There's a ship out on the river, a power ship that supplies now backup power to the city, and that power comes all the way into South Rheinfeldt Gardens. That is also a change. It hasn't improved the quality of power. I mean, obviously it's still blackouts, but at least that's the latest attempt. But as I've said, getting back to these hotels, there are 11 of them that are either under construction or are being completed in Guyana, and they mark the growth of the economy, doubling. In other words, growing by 50% every year and doubling every 2 years. And so now the Guyanese economy now generates close to $30 billion annually. Close to $30 billion annually. And that is up from less than 5 billion. So in 2019 and 2020, or 2019, before oil was being produced, Guyana's economy, the size of the economy was about $4.7 billion, and now it's almost $30 billion. I'm going to do a video explaining how I arrived at that number and show you from the Bank of Guyana statistics. But this is the new Sheraton Hotel, the 4 Points by Sheraton. Last time we were here, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, and we saw that they were working on the exterior, still putting in the windows. What they've done so far now is they've added windows to the top floor. So that top floor didn't have windows the last time we were here. I think there might still be a window or two missing from that section. I can see the cranes are still here. These cranes, I think, were being used to move materials from the ground floor up to the top. And here is the
distance 2 miles. Duration
entrance
35 minutes 18 seconds.
from K&T
Pace
Avenue.
22 minutes 37
so
seconds
that's the entrance.
per mile.
Behind that seems to be a kind of auditorium. Wait and see how it emerges and how the landscaping is done. I'm quite impressed with the landscaping that was done at the Timeri Marriott Hotel at Timeri, what is it? Courtyard Marriott Timeri. They did a good job with the landscaping there. Incidentally, those 3 Marriott hotels would be number what? 9, 8, and 7. 3 Marriott hotels, 9, 8, and 7 of the new hotels being built. One at Timeri, one at Ogle Airport, that's the AC Marriott, and the one downtown Kingston by the river, that was the first Marriott hotel, and that's number 7. Then of course there's Pasha Global 5-star Hotel, which is number 6. There is the new Jewels Hotel, number 5. There's the new Best Western, Aiden by Best Western. It's number 4. There's a new Hyatt Hotel being built at Providence. That's number 3. Two others that I'm missing. But yes, this is the west-facing side of this building. Next door, of course, is the Sheriff Mall. Construction seems to have installed on this building. However, I think it's merely blocking. I think they built this one too close to the hotel, and it might just be blocking. See, of course, the fence going up. Right, these are fence posts for this new hotel. And I think somewhere behind these buildings, I think there's a pool. There's going to be a pool, a swimming pool. Right, that's Sheraton. Oh, there might be a couple of windows missing. Still be a couple of windows missing at the top. There, right? There's still some space for some windows that might be missing from the top. But there is the south-facing side of the Sheraton, the new 4 Points Hotel by Sheraton. And I think somewhere in that space, that curve of the building, I expect there's going to be a swimming pool. People are asking what makes it a 4-star or 3-star hotel. It has to do with the amenities, right? It has to do with the amenities and the service, price, and so on. So this building is the new Guyana Water Authority headquarters. That's being built here in Houston. And the one in front, that one is the new headquarters of Guyana Housing Authority. So Housing Authority being built in front. They seem to be adding walls now. Last time we were here, you could see that they were adding the internal offices. Now I think you can see they're adding the walls, the external walls to the building. And very soon very soon you won't be able to see the inside. But those two buildings, right, the headquarters to the Guyana Water Authority and this new headquarters for the Housing Authority. Those two buildings started out as Sheriff Hospital and Sheriff Mall. So Sheriff Group was given the land to construct those buildings. Since the last time we've been here, this building seems to have grown. Right, they've added, I guess they've added some material to it. And behind it, more warehouses. I'm actually calling this section of the city the warehouse section. There's a lot of warehouse buildings going up in this section. So that building started out as Sheriff's, I think, hospital, or one of their buildings, like the Sheriff Mall. They'll be using the same building materials, basically concrete, rebar and concrete. And then when all the other new constructions were revealed using steel I-beams as frames, they converted this building on the second floor. From the second floor up, they converted it to a steel I-beam structure. So it's interesting to see how that holds up, because the bottom floor of the building is designed to be built one way, and then they changed the design as you go further higher up. But that's what's happening here. This is the new Guyana Water Inc. headquarters in the back. And that's the Guyana Water Authority headquarters in the back. There is some progress being made on both buildings. I can see that the outside of the buildings are now almost complete in terms of structure. This building now has windows. That is the new Housing Authority building now has windows, and they framed all the windows for the Water Authority building. So there is some significant progress being made with those buildings. But like I said, I was saying, the building where the Housing Authority and the Water Authority are started out as Sheriff's Hospital, Sheriff Mall, and a third building that they were building. I don't know, I don't remember which it was. But at some point along the line, government stepped in and made an arrangement with Sheriff to take those, either to purchase or to lease those buildings from Sheriff Group, which indicates a very close connection, arrangement, relationship between Sheriff Group and the government of Guyana. Did somebody say state capture? We'll talk about that later, because at the end of season 17, we're at the end of season 17, I'm beginning to plan for content in season 18. Some of the content that we didn't get to make in season 17 is gonna roll over to season 18. But season 18 is, of course, the season in which you're gonna have to deal with the politics. Guyana's next election, September, so I'm gonna have to address some of the political issues. Now this warehouse, we've watched this warehouse built from scratch, from when it was just a vacant piece of land, and now it's fully completed. This new warehouse, this one is at the corner of Heroes Highway and the road to MacDoom. That one is also made significant progress. So the last time we were here, actually I didn't get to record the new development here because I think it was raining the last time I was here. Couldn't do any recording in the rain. But now of course, it is further along. Now let me stop here.